Johan Taute spends every day creating attractive, welcoming and on-trend spaces for weddings, corporate events and parties. He draws on a warehouse of distinctive furniture to set the tone, and he's selective about his anchor pieces.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Johan, what is Scape Events all about?
Well, it's pretty simple. We get the brief from the client. We then meet with them and conceptualize with our client to make sure that they have a one-of-a-kind bespoke event that's tailor-made to what their needs are for that specific function.
Well, with the exceptional pieces that you do incorporate into your decor, are there any that kind of stand out that you'd love to take home with you?
Actually, quite a few. I actually buy everything here because I like it and I would like it to have it in my house.
You clearly have an eye for beautiful things. I can only imagine what your apartment must look like.
There's actually one piece in the warehouse that's on the way to my flat today.
Living near the heart of the city, space comes at a premium. Johan has approached this practically. He's chosen a studio apartment in what is mostly an office block, so his living area is far more of a shell, which allows for some license and theatre in how you dress a room.
Oh yeah? As I thought, Johan, your place is incredibly designed. Nice stuff.
Thanks.
I mean, it's one thing decorating an event, but when it comes to finding the right decor for a loft, it can be quite tricky. What's an important thing to keep in mind?
You know, I'd say don't overclutter your space. Choose a few pieces that you really love. Also, I've collected so many things from my travels that I wanted to display it in a way that kind of paid homage to that.
How then would you create the illusion of a bigger space?
There's a myth that says that lighter walls create a bigger volume in a small space, where I actually find it's not really true. I prefer to do one wall accented in a very dark color, like I've gone for black, because it elongates the room and takes your eye up to the ceiling, which actually creates more volume when you're looking at the space itself.
Which of these pieces reflect your personal taste?
Many of them. I've got pieces in here that I've collected from school days, you know, orbs that I collected from that time, artwork from pupils that I went to school with. Yeah, a lot of these pieces that I've put together in this apartment really reflect my personal taste and a level of comfort and nostalgia for me.
Using design pieces strategically means you can rotate them for variety.
I've seen quite a few canoes in my day, especially being a lifeguard, but none quite like this and none hanging up against the wall.
Yeah. We used to have family holidays in Southern Africa. We visited the most incredible countries and the most beautiful landscapes, and I bought this Makoro a few years ago just because it reminds me of the time spent as a child in these places that I've never seen before, and I've had it in every single house I've ever had.
The ladder of a stairway frees up space, forms a sculptural element and acts as a room divider.
When dealing with limited space, what sort of styling challenges can one expect?
I think for me in this apartment especially, the biggest challenge was making sure that the furniture that you've selected for your area actually fits through the door. We've actually had this island custom made for this area because I wanted a bigger kitchen, and the day that they came to install it, it didn't fit through. So it's always something to remember and consider when you're actually designing and creating your own space.
While Johan and his business partner Candice Sinclair create event decor for a living, a shell of a space like this lends itself to renewal, and that is a decor choice in itself.
Candice, you've known Johan for quite some time now. What is it about his interior decorating magic that inspires you?
Nothing really doesn't inspire me about Johan. Everything he does is inspiring. The way that he dresses, to the way that he plates his food, the way that he styles his home, and obviously that filters through in our business that we are co-partners in. What I want to add as well is that Johan comes into my space and he makes it mine. He doesn't make it his own space. So he really adapts to the person that he wants to style for them. He doesn't try and push his own agenda onto them, which I think is quite special.
Is there a design technique that guys like me and the viewer at home could apply to get that design decor magic that you produce?
I think it's important to just keep it simple. Choose a very neutral palette, a few colors that you really like, and stick to them. Don't try to overdo it. Don't add too many items to your space. I think that's the most important thing, yeah.
if I could propose a toast and say thank you guys so much for inviting me to your office and your home to share some of those incredible secrets and the magic in your decor. And this bench as well has been a great addition to the studio, so thank you guys. Cheers.
Other tips include using lighting fixtures in place of lamps, balancing the dark feature wall with decor where texture and grain catch the eye, and grouping your art. Above all, experiment and embrace change.